Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, or if you're new, we should subscribe because it doesn't pay themselves. Help us out. Today's video we have an album review, and we have a very unexpected album review. This is the most unexpected album review of the entire year. Trust me when I tell you that. And I'm doing things a little bit differently this time around because I took a little bit of a while more to release this album review because I think with an album quite like this one, it was important for me to give it a second listen before I truly gather my thoughts and before I truly give you guys a very precise and very eloquent album review. If you have not read the title or you have not seen the thumbnail, then you wouldn't know that this album review is for Taylor Swift's 8th record, her surprise 8th record, Folklore. And we're gonna get into it. I've written a ton of notes. This is probably the most notes I've ever written in an album review, although I'm sure a ton of other albums can debate that, but we've got a lot of notes, we've got a lot of things to get through, so I hope you guys stick around. And if you want to know my thoughts on the record and the overall rating and what I think about the songs, then keep on watching. Let's start with the biggest thing, is that this is the biggest surprise of the whole year. This is the biggest shock to 2020. In a year when so much horrible stuff has happened, we had this that we did not know we could look forward to. It's just a shock. It's just a shock to everyone. I mean, I woke up literally at 8 in the morning that Thursday, and the first thing I saw was Taylor Swift announces her surprise 8th studio record. I was just like, oh my goodness. Oh my god. I did not expect that. I mean, I guess the first thing we could say about this record is that, you know, goodbye to the Lover era. And I'm actually kind of happy that we're done with the Lover era because I feel like I love the record. I definitely have a soft spot for the Lover era. I love it. I love the colorful aesthetic of the record. I love the very happy, some of the very happy songs, some of the deep cuts. But at the same time, I feel like the rollout for the record gave her a bad look with a lot of the people who looked at her for just impeccable songwriting and, you know, really beautiful and raw lyrics. And then when Me came out, the You Need to Calm Down came out, I feel like it underwhelmed and it disappointed a lot of people who looked forward to her music being lyrically challenging and having it be very smart and witty, and then having these songs come out as the first songs on the record, I think disappointed a lot of people because it wasn't the same Taylor we knew. Some people felt like there was a lack of quality in her music, which, I mean, that's debatable. Some people liked me, some people didn't like me, you know, same with my real life, most people don't like me, but with this record, I will say that this record is a huge culture shock to a lot of her new fans. It's a culture shock because for the past 6-7 years, we've known her as this pop goddess. I mean, most people, if not a lot of her fan base, came from when 1989 or I Knew You Were Trouble was released, and that was when she started really going into the pop music scene and really experimenting with pop music, because in case most people don't know, she started out as a country artist. I mean, her self-titled Fearless, Speak Now, and a large part of Red were country music, and that's where she's rooted in with her lyricism, with her music, with her storytelling. It's all rooted in country music. And then when she went to pop, it's like almost like a lot of people forgot she did country music, or a lot of people forgot she knew how to just have a whole song be just her and the guitar or her and the piano. And so with this record, it's a huge shock to a lot of people that only knew her from 1989 in Reputation. And personally, it's also a shock to me. It is a huge shock to me because this record is unlike anything she has ever released. I will say that. This is a record unlike anything she has ever released, because with most records that she releases, there's usually a structure, you know, and there's also promotional structure as well. Usually her formula that she has used for the longest time, excluding Lover, is release the first single on the 3rd week of August, release the second single second week of September, and then release promo singles throughout October, release the record last week of October or the first week of November. That has been her formula for releasing records for pretty much a large part of her career. And with this record, there was no promotion at all. There was no promotion, there was no rollout, there was no 3-month promotional cycle of performances and interviews and magazine covers and singles releasing and Easter eggs and all of that. This was just bam, there you go, there's the record, do with it whatever you like. And I think that was the best way to release a record like this. I feel like had it done the promotional traditional cycle that she always does, I feel like it would have bored a lot of the fans that are only in it for the pop songs. I feel like it would have bored them out. I feel like it would have not been as successful as it is right now. And you know, throughout this record, you see hints of classic Taylor, you know, with just her and the guitar or her and the piano, and then being just her having an intimate conversation with somebody. But at the same time, I feel like this record showcases the real reason why a lot of people in the industry say that Taylor Swift is the music industry, because no one can truly do this like her. I mean, surprise albums have been a thing ever since Beyonce released her self-titled record in 2013, but no one has been able to have success with a surprise record. You know, after Beyonce, it became kind of boring to see a surprise record, and nobody really had that level of success that she did until now. I feel like now it was the perfect setting for the perfect storm. I will say that. Most people have had a really shitty year. Most people have not had the best times this year, and they want something to look forward to. And then she comes out with a new record out of nowhere, and everyone's excited, everyone's happy, everyone feels great again because she released a new record. And this record in particular, obviously, is a huge departure from Lover. It is not even near Lover. It is eons away from Lover. It is so completely different. And I did say that it was classic Taylor, but at the same time, we're introduced to a new side of her that we only ever see in fragments of her past records. This entire album was written in quarantine, which obviously, you know, when you're in quarantine like I was, it gives you so much time and room for creativity, and I'm glad that she isn't the only one that's been working on the record during quarantine, but it definitely gives you enough time to create something incredible. And you know, obviously, did I think she was going to release a full-on record during this time? No, I did not think she was going to release a record, but I definitely felt like she was working on something, because you know, she's always working on something. She's always doing something. She's never just sitting down doing nothing. Like, she is always doing something. So I felt like maybe she was going to do something. Maybe she was going to do some like performances online, maybe do some stuff like that, but I did not expect the whole record to come out. And I will say that this record, just me listening to it and also seeing everyone else listening to it on social media, I felt like this record stopped the world. This record made the world stop for a little bit and listen to an hour and 4 minutes of her beautiful storytelling, her beautiful music, and her beautiful lyricism. I feel like the world stopped to listen to this, and that's an incredible thing to do, and that's a very powerful thing to do as a songwriter. And that is a power that not a lot of people hold in this industry. I feel like not a lot of people can truly grab the attention of a large part of the world, if not almost every continent in the world, and have them stop to listen to your voice, to listen to what you read, to listen to what you have to say, to listen to your lyrics, to listen to your music. It's very, very hard to achieve something like that, but she has definitely achieved it. And like I said before, this record is unlike anything she has released in her career, because it's full of what most people would call in her records the deep cuts. It's full of just ballads and mid-tempo songs. There's not a lot of production to it. There's also not a lot of vocal production to it, and the lyrics just are the focal point of this entire record. And I feel like a lot of people are already calling this her magnum opus because it is so beautiful and it is so whimsical, and it just transports you into different settings and different places, and it's a very complex record. The craziest thing about this for me is that Lover was written pretty much under the same time frame of like a very few months, but let down a lot of people, whereas Folklore was written from April to June, which is a much shorter time to write a record. Yet it feels like she has been working on this for 3 years. Let me just tell you that. Lover feels like the record that was written in self-isolation, and Folklore feels like the record that took her 3 years to make. And sure, that isn't the best comparison, but just looking at Folklore and seeing that it was completely finished in 3 months, and just the beautiful lyricism and just everything that goes along with this record, it makes you really put into perspective just how much of a good songwriter she is, just how much of an incredible storyteller she is, and just how much of a powerful artist she is, because not a lot of people can create a beautiful, cohesive body of work in such a short time. I mean, that was very, very short, and wow, I'm in shock. I feel like this record also gives a lot of her fans, a lot of the listeners, a lot of people who just, you know, casually listen to her music, it gives them an idea of probably what the next decade holds for her as an artist and as a storyteller. I mean, she's gone through country, she's gone through pop, and this record is labeled alternative. So will we be seeing this as the new Taylor? Will this be the Taylor of 2020? Will she, you know, shy away from the pop music? Will she no longer do pop or country or those upbeat songs or those big productions? Will she not work with Max Martin anymore and just have these beautiful pieces of art that don't focus on the music around it, but solely focus on the lyricism and the storytelling around it? And it would be very interesting to see her do that for the next 10 years. I mean, it would definitely set her back in some ways, because obviously you can't really I mean, it isn't really radio friendly to have like a very lo-fi ballad on the radio. I mean, very few people can have a ballad on the radio and have it be successful. So there definitely would be some setbacks, but I think what would fill in those setbacks would be the critical acclaim that those records have if she releases more records like this. And I've said this before, this record just has impeccably crafted lyricism and music, and the storytelling is so beautiful, and this is just the work of a master. I will say that this is the work of a master. This is the work of somebody who knows what she wants, who knows how to create it, and who knows how to put it out there in the world. And it is truly a privilege to be living in the same era that she is living in, because we're able to witness just this, like, one of the true geniuses of our time create just a beautiful record, because nobody can create a record quite like she can, and nobody can bring out the tears quite like she can. And I think this is just such a beautiful masterpiece, and I'm so happy that it's getting the praise and the love that this record deserves, because it truly deserves it. And for me, some of the standout songs are The Last Great American Dynasty, Mirrorball, August, Illicit Affairs, Betty, Peace, and Hoax. And these songs just, oh my god, these songs are just so beautiful. These songs are just so beautiful and so incredibly and beautifully crafted, and the storytelling behind this just takes me back to the Red era, to the Speak Now era, but more mature, more elevated, more conscious, more aware of what she's writing. And I think it's a beautiful thing to see. And if this is the direction she takes for her next 5 albums, honestly, I wouldn't be mad. I would not be mad about it, because it would be just something beautiful to look forward to over time. And I think that is why I gave this record the overall rating of 10 out of 10, because this record can truly do no wrong, and it's a record that you want to listen to from start to finish. And I love when a true artist puts out a record that you feel kind of guilty for listening just to one song from the record, and you want to hear the whole thing from start to finish, because it's just that magnificent. And there has been only a handful of records that have been released this year where I just want to listen to it from start to finish, and I feel guilty for listening to it just, you know, just one-off song. Those records being, you know, Vegetable Cutters, Chromatica, and now Folklore. These records are just records that I just feel better listening to them from start to finish, because they're the work of true masters. Anyways, that is it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and if you did, give it a thumbs up and comment down below your thoughts and opinions on Folklore. I would love to hear what you guys think about the record. Let me know, and as well subscribe, because the best of themselves help us out. Girl, I am getting busy this week. I am getting busy. Yes, last week was definitely busy for me. This week is even busier for me. And also, just a little reminder, my birthday is in like 2 weeks, so start saving up for a gift. So I'm definitely going to be purchasing a lot of clothes during this time for my birthday, and I'm definitely going to keep you guys in with vlogs, so I might be vlogging as well. And I will see you tomorrow for another video. I've already filmed it. Goodbye.